So Big Fish
Yeah.
and Jim and Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like Jim and Andy?
Are you recording? Seriously, Shannon, you're such a dork.
Did you like Jim and Andy?
I did. Oh, Shannon.
What? You're right. Looks silly with the TV on in the background. Did you like Jim and Andy?
I did.
So Jim and Andy is the documentary now on Netflix that details Jim Carrey as he played Andy Kaufman and lost himself in the role. The only
on the moon.
yeah, the Andy Kaufman movie, Man on the Moon. The only thing I wondered with it was how much of that was genuine.
Right.
Like he got himself into the role and he became Andy Kaufman, which is wonderful and whatnot, and weird at the same time. And then it affected the rest of his career, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he didn't really need to make movies after that. Isn't that what he said?
Right, he was financially good for, like, ever.
This might explain the beard.
I think that's part of his just wanting to be him and not be Jim
Like
Carrey.
Letterman.
Yeah.
Like Letterman.
But I think he kind of goes into that in the movie, where you get kind of, while in the beginning, doing his stand-up, he did that Alrighty Then, and that was such a big hit. That was like his thing and his persona. But after a while, that's all people want.
Which is how he identified with Andy.
Right.
Because everybody wanted Andy to be Latka.
Yes. And
So he wouldn't do it.
To be something else.
Andy Kaufman, his stand-up was different. There was one time I saw him on Evening at the Improv, and all he didn't tell any jokes.
Because he's not a comedian. Andy Kaufman was not
But
a comedian.
all he did was he had a tumor on his neck and he had everybody come up and touch it.
Oh, yes. He wasn't a comedian.
It was really weird.
Yes. He wasn't a comedian, but people treated him as if he was. But he wasn't. He was an entertainer.
It was really weird.
Whether that be making people laugh or making people angry or just making people go, wait, what?
That was my reaction.
He wasn't a comedian. He just wanted to get different reactions from people. And I think that's where people didn't get him.
I thought it was
They
interesting.
wanted him to be a comedian.
Thought it was interesting in the movie when they show Jerry Lawler on the set and they show how Jim Carrey was legitimately bothering him, and that Jerry Lawler was friends with Andy Kaufman, and that's true. Any interview I've seen with Jerry Lawler where he talks about Andy Kaufman, when the cameras were off, they were good friends. So I can understand why for Lawler it would be off-putting to have Jim Carrey legitimately upsetting him. But I think Carrey was doing that just for the part.
Yes.
So that when they acted in their scenes together, he really wanted to kick the crap out of him.
Yes. So he could get that genuine reaction.
And he really did manhandle Jim, but
I think Andy did the same
when they
thing.
showed Jim Carrey like getting taken to the hospital and all that, was that staged? Because it felt staged.
I don't know. I think he was doing what he thought Andy Kaufman would do. Andy Kaufman did similar things. He went to the hospital for a broken neck too. We're saying that he had a broken neck from wrestling.
From what I saw, it didn't look like Jim was really hurt.
I don't think so. But I think that was part of him playing the part.
It's so weird. So weird. It was good. I mean, personally, you kind of have to have seen Man on the Moon to appreciate it.
Yes.
And then
it also helps knowing Andy Kaufman a bit.
I think the highlight was Andy Kaufman's alter ego.
Yes.
Showing up at the Playboy Mansion, and they think it's Jim Carrey.
Yes.
But it was Andy Kaufman's real life best friend instead, and he gets kicked out of the Playboy Mansion when Jim Carrey actually shows up.
Yes.
And it was funny because they put up with him. Thinking it was Jim Carrey.
Andy Kaufman did too.
Andy Kaufman would have loved that.
Yes.
He would have thought that was great.
Absolutely.
be completely obnoxious at all times, and then I'll come in.
Yes.
And then people are going to be like, wait, if you're
pretty-
Jim
didn't
Carrey,
he
who
do
the
that,
hell is
though?
this guy?
Didn't he do that? I'm
He-
pretty sure there was more than one occasion where he had...
Because he would play the part, and I'm trying to think of the name of the character
yes.
now.
So it was like Bob. Wasn't his name Bob? Who
Bob.
would sometimes... Bob... Oh, what was his last name? Is that not his first name? That would sometimes play...
Here, I'll look it up. All
I
right,
was
there we go.
thinking- I was
So
trying
his
to think
friend's
of-
Bob Smuda, and
Yes,
it's Tony
I just thought
Clifton's
of
name
it.
of the character. There we go.
Yes, but didn't he sometimes have Bob Zamuda play Tony Clifton and be his super obnoxious self, and then Andy Kaufman would come in
Yes.
to throw everybody off because everybody would think that Tony
Bob-
Clifton was him.
There was it was in the movie Man on the Moon where Tony Clifton wreaked havoc on the set of Taxi,
Yes.
and they put up with his crap because they thought it was
him.
Andy.
Yes.
And then Andy came in.
Yeah.
And poor Marilu Henner.
No. Kitty.
Like, Marilu Henner was put through hell by Tony Clifton. No,
She's
you
like,
don't get to get him.
I'm just stretching.
No, get over here. No.
I was just stretching.
But it was a good show. If you like Andy Kaufman, if you've seen Man on the Moon, it is well worth watching. I'd give it a solid 9. And just for Jim Carrey weirdness, I'd give it a 9. They get into Jim Carrey's life story and how he became Jim Carrey, and it's actually kind of interesting.
It was, yeah.
Now, speaking of interesting, another movie that we watched, we haven't reviewed, is Big Fish. Now, I had never seen Big Fish.
It's one of my movies.
It got reviewed really badly, and I went,
know.
all right, and I didn't watch it. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 now that I've watched it, I'd give it probably a 7.
See, it's one of my favorite movies, but I also really like Tim Burton.
It's weird.
It's a Tim Burton movie, of course.
But it's
weird.
it's a different kind of weird. Like,
He doesn't have normal.
when they go into that town or whatever, and he's got to take his shoes off, I thought that was like some dream world. I was like, this isn't a real place. This has to be some kind of a dream world or something. And then apparently it's not. And Helena Bonham Carter's in it because she's in every Tim Burton movie. As are a lot of people.
Johnny Depp wasn't in it.
No, Johnny Depp wasn't in this. I'm sure he was busy that weekend. He probably would have played the Ewan McGregor role if it had been filmed later on.
No.
You don't
I
think so?
I don't think so. That's not a Johnny Depp type role. Because that guy was normal.
That's true. Johnny Depp always has to do a goofy voice. It's gone too far.
He is the odd.
It's gone too
always
far.
the odd character.
Johnny Depp's gone too far. It's time to dial it back, Mr. Depp. We get it. You can play drunk Keith Richards. Dial it back. Well, his movies have started bombing too, like that Mordecai crap. That one bombed because it had some weird like
But I think
Tim Burton look to it, and it was crap in the commercials. And
Johnny Depp is to the point that he can just play the characters that he wants to play.
but they're dumb.
So maybe he doesn't make the movie for you.
So Big Fish is about a guy whose dad tells tall stories, and it shows you the tall stories, and then during the movie it kind of fills in the blanks on whether they were tall stories or not. And at the end you're kind of left going, oh, okay.
I like the end.
There's a tea-jerking part to the end. There is absolutely.
Hey.
There's something to that, but it was weird.
Of course it is. It's a Tim Burton movie.
But it's almost Ed Wood weird. Like, it's really and tonally it just seems so weird. Like, you've got a giant who's eating animals, but he just wants to hang out with somebody, so he hangs out with somebody and he leaves. And I was like, oh, okay. That's
It's part
different.
of the story.
Yeah, I know, and
But that's the thing that you kind of figure out.
it's really weird. Even by Tim Burton standards, it's weird.
Whatever. It's
And
not weird compared to his.
It has a linear storyline, and yet it doesn't.
It's because it's going through two timelines. You have the now, where the dad is very old and he's dying, and the son is trying to figure out what's truth and what's not. And then you have the dad who's looking back, and this is what it was like when I was younger. And it's at the same time because you're trying to kind of mesh the two together. Stop.
Well, see, to me it was just strange trying to put everything together, and then at the end I don't.
Maybe we have to watch it again, and you might get it a little bit better. I've watched it many times.
I know. Well, I've watched Night of the Comet many times too, but Night of the Comet's far more linear. A lot more zombies than I saw in Big Fish.
There's no zombies in Big Fish.
I know. That's why I said there's a lot more in Night of the Comet. Because there's none in this movie. They could have used a couple.
No.
That would have actually been kind of fun.
No.
That would have been kind of fun.
No. There's a witch. Is that good enough for you?
The witch. I'm still befuddled at the whole witch bit. I don't get it. I mean, I get him when he's younger falling in love with that woman, because Alison Lohman is, you can't help but fall in love with her when you meet her, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine. I've never actually met Alison Lohman, but I would imagine that's kind of the reaction you'd have. But she's in Drag Me to Hell as well, which is a great movie, and I'm trying to get her to watch it with me. Great movie. But the witch thing is really strange.
It's a witch. It's not supposed to be normal.
But I don't know. At the end, I'm like, wait, so the eyeball thing, like, so is that all metaphorical, or is it like I don't? And I can see why it was hard for mainstream audiences to pay attention to it, because there's so much going on. There's so many characters.
Yeah, you have to watch it again now.
And plot lines, but it's strange, and it's strange on a level that is even beyond your usual Tim Burton strangeness.
And I like it. It's a cute movie.
I know you do.
It's
I know
fun.
you do. But it was like I
It's
said.
a cute movie.
Like I said, for me, it's a 7. I didn't dislike it, but it was different. It again shows Ewan McGregor is a very good actor when he's given material that's different. Movie that she hasn't seen is Trainspotting. I haven't got her to watch that one, because Trainspotting is one of those movies you can watch once and you go, wow, that was a great movie. I'm never going to watch that again. That was really disturbing. But he's a good actor, and it was a half decent movie. So you would give it what, a 9, 10?
Not a 10. Probably around 9 or so, 8 or 9. I really like that movie.
And you gave that same to Jim and Andy? You give about that same rating?
No, but that's a different kind. It's not really a movie. That's more a documentary.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
you can
different.
still grade it.
I know, but it's different. I don't know how I would rate it. It's a documentary, though. It's not a movie. It doesn't have like a storyline and a plot and character development.
It does go linear through Jim getting the role, becoming Andy Kaufman, and the way he was on the set right up until the end. So they do go in a linear manner with that.
Mm-hmm.
And he slowly turns back into being Jim Carrey towards the end of the filming.
Yeah.
Because I really think it starts getting to him.
Yes, it did.
That it's Andy's family and friends, and that they're treating him like he really is Andy, and I think it really started to get to him.
But I think he also saw how important that was to them.
Oh, it was very
like
important.
Andy's daughter.
Yes.
That was kind of cool.
And that he spent, what, hours with her?
It was like an hour or something he spent with Andy's daughter, who
Yeah.
had never met Andy.
Yeah. Which would be hard. Even if you're method acting and you're basically enveloped in the role, that would be really hard. Like I did a lot of acting in high school, and I was impressed with the stuff I did. I think that's otherworldly. I don't know that I could.
But I think at that point he might have been very immersed in the character.
Maybe.
And he was the character all the time.
I would try to do that in drama class, but I'd only do that on the day of a performance, and only if I was the main character. So I would just, but that was totally different than this. That was just, this is otherworldly. Jim Carrey, I think early on in his career, all the slapstick probably caused a lot of people not to take him seriously as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And his time on In Living Color probably didn't help either. But he is a very good actor.
He is. I
And
haven't had
he's
you
done
watch,
some very good movies.
I have other movies for you
The
to
Majestic.
watch. Yes, that's. What
I've
I
never
want to
seen The
watch.
Majestic. She has The Majestic.
Another movie that
It's
I
a
really
long
like.
movie.
It is a long movie, but it's
So
a really good movie.
we haven't watched it yet.
It's a good movie.
Can we watch the unedited versions of Lord of the Rings right after? You gotta watch like the 4.5 hour version of Return of the King.
No.
It's that 25th ending that really drives it home.
No.
The first 24 endings don't work without the 25th. When they show, like, you know,
Just make me tired just thinking
the
about
Sam Frodo Suckfest.
No,
Oh no,
you
that's
can just
Clerks
stop.
2. That's Clerks 2.
Shannon.
Whoops, I can't review Clerks 2 yet. What? I made fun of the Lord of the Rings so hard I made a Lord of the Rings geek puke all over the counter. We're gonna get the mop bucket so I can get Elias to clean it up.
No more.
That's a great movie.
That is an awesome movie.
All right, so yeah, let me know what you guys think about Great Big Fish, and if you've seen the Jim and Andy one. It's a very, very good movie, and it's worth watching. It's on Netflix. It's a documentary, which is a movie.
It's not like a story movie, though.
But it's still a movie.
All right.
It's a feature.
There you go.
Feature length documentary.
There you go.
There we go. All right. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. Thank you so much for watching. And just as a quick little update, I do believe we've hit 4,000 hours on this channel. So thank you, all of you that have been watching. Stick around for other content as well. For me, surprising Yvonne with a camera. She had no idea I was doing this. I just brought it over and I just started filming.
Cutting fabric on the floor and I look like crap. And yeah.
You're radiant.
I'm not.
You're radiant.
I haven't brushed my hair.
You're radiant. I didn't brush my hair either. Look at it. I mean, it's just terrible.
I actually have hair, though. And it's all crazy right now.
See this? I gotta put up with this. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.
What are you trying to say?
I'm not trying to say anything.
You're
you're a glorious angel.
Whatever.
You are my glorious angel.
Whatever.
And I thank God every day that He created you. And
see, and that's where I know there's no. Whatever.
There's no
Do
end.
not.
There's no end to your glory.
Oh, whatever.
I have to wear sunglasses almost every day because of your beauty and your radiance.
You're such a dork.
Okay. I'll talk to you guys again soon.